I'm Steve Foskett, and this is Worcester by Bike. Good morning and welcome to episode 8 of Worcester by Bike. Splendid day here on the Common. We had some rain yesterday, nice and crisp today. They're mowing today, so I'm going to be quick. We're headed to Lake Park today. Lake Park has a really important role in the history of the city's park system. It was sort of the last precursor before the modern network of 61 parks and playgrounds that we have across the city. It's really neat. There's a lot of hidden areas up there. We're going to go check it out. Come along. Here we are at Lake Park. This is sort of the back end almost. You come down Hamilton Street, turns into Bigelow Davis Parkway. We'll get into that history in a minute. But first we're going to ride. When you think of Lake Park, obviously you think of Lake Quinsigamond. Big huge lake between Worcester and Shrewsbury. A couple miles long, very deep. Recreation center, always has been. But what a lot of people don't know is that it used to all be Lake Park till the 1950s. That's when basically the shore section along the lake became Quinsigamond State Park. That's where you see everybody walking, tennis courts, all that stuff, the ice rink. What was left is Lake Park, and that's sort of woodsy area up here. We got some courts up here, baseball field, Tivnan Field down there, that's Lake Park. But the other side of the street is basically the state park. So late 1800s, Worcester is really growing. Industry is coming here, setting up. Rail is going. Everything is growing exponentially. Neighborhoods are just exploding. People are starting to feel the need to protect some outside spaces, or at least have more parks, more playgrounds. At that point, the only two real public parks the city had were the Common and Elm Park. And the Common, things I've read from back in those days, that it was overgrown, that it was sort of abused, that it was in disrepair, I guess. And Elm Park was sort of the sort of territory of the west side, the more Tony area of the city. So you had this sort of clamoring for more park space. 1882, you had the Park Act, a statewide act that cities and towns could adopt by a vote that would allow them to acquire parkland. Worcester shot it down at first. 1882, it didn't pass. But then in 1884, two residents, Edward Davis, Horace Bigelow, they donated 110 acres over here to the city to be used as public parkland. They had interests, they had business interests that donating the land would benefit them. It would create a sort of attraction in the area. The lake had always been sort of a resort sort of spot, destination. Bigelow ended up starting White City in 1905, so White City hadn't even been built yet. So 1884, these two guys donated 110 acres. They built Davis commissioned a tower at the top of the hill. And so this became Lake Park. So we crossed over Bigelow Davis Parkway to get to the other side. It's sort of behind the skating rink if you were on Lake Ave up here. Different set of trails over here. The ones over behind Tivnan Field are a little more narrow, a little more grown in. This is a little more fire road and some wider paths that go up the hill. It's really nice, really pleasant. I mean, it's a beautiful day anyway, so you're outside on a bike. You're not going to have fun. So after Bigelow and Davis donated the land, that was 1884. It was a hit. It really was popular with residents. People flocked there. It was this big new park. As a result, there was another vote on the Park Act, and it passed. And so then 2 years later, I think it was, the city came out with a comprehensive park plan. And then next couple decades, you saw all these parks explode in the city. You had Crompton Park, East Park, Hadron Park, Green Hill Park. That was all after Lake Park. So the city park system that essentially was sparked by Lake Park, because they ended up rushing in the Park Act soon after Lake Park opened, that was ended up being one of the better ideas of our city fathers. There's a lot you can criticize about how the city grew and decisions that were made and the politics that are going on even today, but you really can't fault them for this. It's beautiful out here. It's absolutely gorgeous. You should just get outside. Just get outside. Your lunch break, turn off the TV, Get out here into nature, ride your bike, walk, do whatever. But have fun, enjoy it, because it's a gift. It's a gift from our past.